This is Tani Jacobson. This is my intro to public speaking speech on family tradition. Here is my audience somewhere. Okay. So most often when we think of tradition, we think of an event or a ritual that we do with our family, most often around the holidays. It could be anything from decorating your Christmas tree, dyeing Easter eggs, or maybe even cooking a big meal for Thanksgiving. For me, when I think of tradition, it's a little less traditional. Tradition is defined as transmission of customs or beliefs passed on from generation to generation. My definition of that tapers just a little bit. All four of my grandparents passed away before I was even born. And while my mom was adopted and I got to know her adoptive parents as my grandma and my grandpa, we never had the typical big family celebrations around Christmas, Easter, nothing. There was never all of the grandparents and cousins, aunts, uncles. It's always been pretty small and intimate. Usually just me, my mom, my dad, our 6 dogs, and until recently, my Uncle David. So for me, tradition is a little less outlined, maybe a little less predictable. It starts around the Christmas season, however. For me, usually, it starts the day after Thanksgiving when my mom and my dad start the decorating process for Christmas. Now, I truly believe that my mom is a descendant of Santa Claus because our house looks like a page straight out of the North Pole the entire month of December and on into January. So, the day after Thanksgiving, my mom and dad typically go outside and put up hundreds upon hundreds, maybe even thousands of Christmas lights to make their house the brightest one on the block and probably in the northwest part of Jamestown, North Dakota. Not only do they have umpteen lights, they have a over 7 foot snow globe, and what else would be, or it wouldn't be complete without Santa and his reindeer. So that is the outside. As I mentioned, this starts right after Thanksgiving. So they go a little crazy with it. From there, you walk into my parents' house and it is insane. It's like something straight out of a movie. We have a Christmas tree in every room. That includes the 4 bedrooms, the living room, the den, both bathrooms, and our kitchen, each one matching the decor of the room. There's also garland and Christmas lights around every single door frame and hallway and up the stairs. There's several different Christmas villages set up throughout the house and more snowmen than I can probably count. I can't recall the last time I wasn't able to make it home for Christmas. And to come to think of it, I don't think I've ever missed a Christmas with my family. So that has become our tradition, is Christmas Eve, and that is where it starts. The morning of Christmas Eve, I usually sleep in a little bit and wake up to my favorite meal, which is French toast. During breakfast, the inner child usually comes out of my dad, and he insists I open a gift early. This usually ends up me opening 2 to 3 gifts early because my parents, I think, get more joy out of it now than I do. After that, we finish our breakfast and kind of just bum around the house for the rest of the day. We play cards, and now that I'm of legal drinking age, we have a couple glasses, or maybe a couple bottles, of wine and lounge around the house. After that, we munch on different appetizers for lunch, usually a meat and cheese tray, veggies, your typical appetizers. And then for dinner, we have a prime rib that my dad cooks on the grill, and it is my favorite meal of all time. After supper, we're usually in a little bit of a food coma, so we just sit around and enjoy each other's company and maybe have a few more glasses of wine. And then we usually end our nights watching our favorite Christmas movies. Now, if you ask each of us what our favorite Christmas movie is, we'll each have a different answer. My dad loves National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. He cannot get enough of the scene with the cat. My mom's favorite movie is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. And me, I could watch Elf with Will Ferrell every single day for probably the entire year and not get sick of it. Now, we do this every year. So we usually argue about what movie we watch first, but we typically end up watching all three anyways. And although we've seen them all hundreds of times, we still laugh all the time. So while we haven't done this for generations and generations, and this isn't something that was passed on from my grandparents or even their parents before that, it is the tradition that I've come to know and love. Just me, my mom, my dad, our 6 dogs, making memories of our own. And here is my visual aid with a picture of my mom, my dad, and I, and 2 of our 6 dogs that we have at the house. And as you can see, it's all decked out for Christmas. So that is my speech on traditions. Here's my audience again. There we are.